Hello everyone, welcome to the first module of cardiovascular system. We're going to talk about the embryology aspect of it. The first concept that we're going to talk about is the fetal circulation. In the fetal circulation, the umbilical vein has partial pressure of oxygen as 30 mm of Hg and is 80% saturated with oxygen. That means the umbilical vein carries oxygenated blood. Correct? Whereas on the other hand, the umbilical arteries have low oxygen content. That means the umbilical artery carries deoxygenated blood. Is it clear? Now let's talk about the three important shunts. The blood entering the fetus through the umbilical vein is conducted via the ductus venosus to the inferior vena cava, which directly goes into the right atrium. It bypasses the hepatic circulation. Ideally, the blood should go from umbilical vein to the liver, through the liver to the inferior vena cava, from the inferior vena cava to the right atrium. Whereas, due to ductus venosus, the liver is bypassed and the blood directly goes into the inferior vena cava. That is the first shunt. The second shunt is most of the highly oxygenated blood that goes from the inferior vena cava into the right atrium, from the inferior vena cava into the right atrium, goes directly to the left atrium by foramen ovale. Okay. The third important shunt is the deoxygenated blood coming from the superior vena cava comes into the right atrium. From the right atrium, it goes into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it goes into the main pulmonary artery. Okay, I'll again repeat, from superior vena cava to the right atrium, from right atrium to the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle, it goes to the main pulmonary artery. From the main pulmonary artery, the blood leaks into the descending aorta by this third shunt called as ductus arteriosus. Is it clear? This third shunt is due to the high fetal pulmonary artery resistance. There is a very high fetal pulmonary artery resistance here, okay, which is majorly caused because of the low oxygen content. What happens at birth is there is a decrease in the pulmonary vasculature. There is a decrease in the resistance in the pulmonary vasculature, which leads to an increased left atrial pressure. There is an increase in the left atrial pressure as compared to the right atrium. Okay. This leads to closing of the foramen ovale, the remnant of which is called as the fossa ovalis. The remnant of foramen ovale is called as fossa ovalis. There is an increase in the oxygen due to respiration, and there is a decrease in the prostaglandins from placental separation. At birth, there is a separation of placenta which leads to decrease in the prostaglandins. And hence, due to this decrease in the prostaglandins and increase in the oxygen, there is a closure of ductus arteriosus. This closes. Now let's talk about endomethacin. Endomethacin helps in closing of this ductus arteriosus. Endomethacin helps in closing of the patent ductus arteriosus, which is present even after birth. Okay, the ductus arteriosus gets converted to ligamentum arteriosum after birth, which is called as the remnant of ductus arteriosus. But if the ductus arteriosus doesn't close, that means the patent ductus arteriosus, then endomethacin is used to close this. Okay, let's talk about prostaglandins. Prostaglandins E1, that is PGE1 and PGE2, keeps the patent ductus arteriosus open. This is high, very, very, very high. Okay, the prostaglandins E1 and E2 keep PDA open. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the like button and do subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comment section below which topics do you want me to explain. Thank you.